Good morning. Okay, let's see here. What's going on, folks? What's happening, guys? Welcome to another live trading session. It's Emmanuel from Live Free Effects, and today, as usual, we are in the charts. We're taking a look at gold and seeing what the market has in store for us. What we're gonna get today. Let me know if you have any questions as I go through the stream. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thanks for being on, and thanks for choosing Live Free Effects. As you have questions, feel free to drop it into the chat room, and I'll definitely be sure to give you some feedback. No audio. Let's take a look here. Okay. Just give me 1 second here. Okay. I can hear. Okay, can't hear either. Just give me half a second here, folks. Okay. Let's see. Just give me 1 sec. Okay. Okay. Okay, you guys can hear? Okay. Okay, beautiful. All right. Okay, cool. Okay, I guess some people can hear, some people can hear. If you can't hear, I would recommend just making sure that you're um, okay. Perfect. Yeah, drop in and out and pop back in again. Okay, let's take a look. Let's see what the market has in store for us. I'm going to put my camera right here just so everything is pretty good. Let's take a look at the daily time frame here on gold. It's Wednesday. Today is likely going to be the main high probability trading day that we have. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, right? So if you live in the U.S., tomorrow's going to be a holiday for you. Happy Thanksgiving, since it's not Thanksgiving here in Canada. But yes, happy Thanksgiving. It's a little bit closer to Christmas. I didn't realize it was that close. But yes, happy Thanksgiving for those of you celebrating. I'm sure a lot of you will. But tomorrow there will not be any live stream given that it's going to be a bank holiday for US. So let's do our technical breakdown here, going over here on the daily time frame. We're going to be taking a look at what the market is going to be doing today. All right, so the main thing when you come into the market on the daily time frame, you want to figure out who is in control, right? Who's in control, buyers, sellers, because that's where you want to try to stick to, right? So if buyers are in control on the higher time frame, automatically, what that means is there's a higher probability if you choose to be a buyer. So today, based on what we can see, and yesterday we came into the market, it was pretty solid. I believe we stuck to the buys, right? Buyers coming in hot, and we got in some buy trades and got a pretty decent amount of profit. Okay. Am I supposed to be able to see the gold chart? Yeah, you should be able to. Um, Guys, can you guys see the chart? Can you guys see everything? I can see. Ember, I can see. Okay, perfect. If stream's all good, if someone wants to give her a little bit of guidance and give her a little bit of, I think you just, on Discord, you just click, I'm not too sure how it's, how it is on from a viewer's perspective, okay, yeah, you should be able to see the go chart. If you can't, yeah, you should either drop in and drop back in. Have to click watch stream. Thank you, Amber. Okay, let's waste no time. So taking a look on the daily time frame, one of the main areas of liquidity that we have right here is 42.45. If you are looking at the futures side, the numbers might be different, but I think it's pretty similar in terms of price action. Uh, Gold prices right now are currently making high highs and higher lows on the daily time frame. So this right here shows that there is momentum pushing to the upside. Now, one of the main things that we were talking about yesterday, and the reason why November has been a month of a lot of consolidation, is simply because price took out this low. And there, even still now, there still is some indecision that's currently taking place because we don't know if sellers are going to come back in and aim for this area. Because the way the market moves from a buyer and seller perspective is when price is making, high highs, it targets the highs. Now, when the market starts to, fail to target the highs and start to target the low, what happened oftentimes is it continues to do that unless it's a liquidity grab. So more often than not, if the market is going to reach for a low, it's either going to reach for the other low. If it doesn't do that, then it's a liquidity grab. You want to call it a stop hunt, manipulation, whatever you want to call it, right? But in this scenario right here, we have the all-time high on the daily time frame, which is right here. So this right here is the all-time high, 43.85. Right. So if buyers want to continue this movement to the upside, dominated, they're going to target the all-time highs. If sellers want to come in, boom, right, we're going to see price move further down. But the biggest thing is not playing the guessing game. If we start to get a reversal, get in on a reversal. But the thing about reversal is they're hard to spot, they're hard to call out, and it's just better to kind of flow with the market, right? So right now, the momentum we see on the daily time frame is high highs, high lows, high highs, high lows, and possibly a high high. So I'm not going to be the one trying to play a guessing game, right, and anticipating a reversal. If we do get it here, cool, we're going to get some confirmation of the lower time frame that's going to give us that bias. So right now, scaling back to the 4-hour time frame, one of the main things right now that we're seeing here is we are seeing price continue that same bullish market structure and bullish momentum, right? So here, same thing, strong push to the upside, and then market creating, buyers are essentially pretty much in control here. If buys continue to dominate, we have 42.10 and 42.45. These are going to be some higher time frame key objectives. If sellers want to come back into the market, they're going to be targeting this low, and they're going to be targeting this low. So going over to the 1-hour time frame. Here we had a little bit of a push during before the New York session. So I was kind of looking at the market at about 6, 7, and yeah, we definitely had a lot of I think probably like 6 a.m. I was up at 6 a.m. and I was seeing some pretty solid runs take place in the market. So it's going to determine what happens today. So on the hourly time frame here, there's a little bit of a consolidation happening, but we have this accumulation zone here. So we're going to pay attention to the little details. Let's scale down to the 15. I got a good run at 6 a.m. I saw that. Yeah, it was certainly a good run. It was a big one. It was a big one. It was a big one. Yeah, it was a nice low run that kind of took place there. So overall, we have the market, right? Price lately, November is on its way out. So this is going to be the last week. We've had a lot of this where we get that continuation. We get that break of market structure and a failed continuation, and price goes back to take out the high. So we're going to pay attention to those little details here. Right, so we're seeing that the market, okay, taking out the high, right, came back down, took out the low, rather than continue moving lower, we went back up and took out the high again. So in terms of direction, it's a little bit iffy to say, okay, you know what, we're going to get a market structure break, to the downside, and then we're going to continue moving lower. I think this market, especially for Wednesday, is a bit more, I wouldn't say on the choppier side, but November in general has consolidated, I would say 70 to 80% of the time, especially in the New York session. And then we've had some nice runs later on. He gave us a taste. No, I think my mic just died, guys. If you guys can hear me now. Yeah, let me know if you guys can hear me now. Working, okay, cool. Yeah, my mic just died. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay. That's cool. It was temporary. It was temporary, but let's take a look here. Let's see. Let's see what the Discord. You guys can. Audio's good. Okay, audio's good now. Perfect. 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 Yeah. So right now we're just watching. Waiting, seeing what the market has in store. I gotta find. Okay. So my bias for today is bullish. I'm bullish for today. So right now, based on what we're seeing here, but this is a tricky market, especially while we're in this range. There's a lot going on, and we can likely see more buyers come in. But you want to be a little bit on the patient side, right? You want to watch a little bit just to make sure that you're not getting caught on the wrong side of probability. But right now, this is looking pretty good. We have news coming out in 10 minutes, so I don't exactly know if I'm going to be getting involved in the trade before then. I prefer to take a trade if I'm waiting this early or this long. Sorry, I'll either take a trade 30 minutes before the news, right? But because right now the market hasn't picked exactly where it's going, what ends up happening is it gives you a direction 10 minutes before the news comes out, and then the news comes out, and it's like, yeah, like because we could be stalling here for the next 10 minutes. So I think personally today, I would prefer to wait, even though my bias is bullish and I would like to get in. I don't think unemployment claims are going to be crazy, but I just think that it's better if we just wait for the news, right? And maybe if we miss the opportunity, boom, that's going to create a little bit of that confirmation, because sometimes if you're more aggressive, you want to be aggressive, you can, by all means, get involved, right? And there wouldn't be anything wrong with that, as long as you know you're going in aggressive, right? But I think with it being Wednesday, and the market right now is showing a lot of signs, because when you come to the market, you can kind of see what it's on. And basically, what it's on right now is it's quite choppy. It's quite choppy all around, right? Accumulation. But the good thing about today, why I'm hopeful, is the London session was also accumulating as well. So generally, if the London session was very given, I would be more cautious. I'd be like, okay, you know what? I don't think we should be watching. We should be expecting a lot of movement in the New York session, because the London session didn't move a lot. It gives the New York session a huge liquidity distribution opportunity. So we could see a big push in the New York session, but to me, it's better for price to pick a direction, and then kind of go from there, and then we do that. So to me, if we can get that, that's going to be the best case scenario, guys. The best case scenario. So let's see what ends up happening. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so my game plan today is to wait. Yeah, yeah, my game plan is to wait for after the news comes out. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Let's take a look on the 5 and 15 minute time frame. This is accumulation and distribution wise, this is a pretty good setup. We're retesting this accumulation zone. This could be right here, grab liquidity, and a push to the upside here, right? Because the market is kind of playing that seek and destroy, where it pushes up, it comes back down, and pushes a little bit lower, grabs liquidity, and then also goes up, grabs liquidity. But when the market picks a side, it's going to start to move accordingly. And right now, we don't exactly have the guidance of the London high and the London low because they were both taken out. So we need clear directions. You need the market to tell you, okay, this is exactly where it's going to go. And then you execute on that. All right, so we got 3 shots left. And if we can, do something with just ideally 1, that would be good. So even if it's 30 pep that we made today, I'm happy. If you made something from this market already, I would say definitely, walk away when you can, and if you can. This is it. Now, question time. How many of you guys have a trade plan that you come into the market and you execute it every single day? You have your risk outline, you have your strategy outline, right? How many of you would say you have a clean trade plan that you follow every single day? Hopefully it's, whether it's on your computer or it's written down in your journal, notepad, anything. Okay. I do, but don't have it written anywhere. Probably need to do that. Okay. Okay. I think especially in the beginning stages, yeah, it's better. It's better to have it written somewhere. Even it's because your mind is is not really a good place to store information, right? You might forget, and if you want to hold yourself accountable, it needs to be quite, it needs to be laid out properly. So um, that's something to work on. And if you have got to post that, I'm going to post that today on the chat. What you need. I think George, it was you who asked for it yesterday, because we're talking a little bit about what you need in order to have a solid game plan. And it's really simple. The time you're going to come into the market, first, it's your goals, right? What are your trading goals, right? What's going to wake you up in the morning every single day you come into the market? What's going to drive you? And yeah, what is it going to be, right? That's number one. And then the pair you trade, the time you come into the market consistently, the strategy, your risk management, your stop loss, your trade management, and your morning routine that's going to prime you up for your trading day. All right, so those things are crucial. We got 3 more minutes before unemployment claims here. Silver grade, I do started in September after a few months of not having a solid one. How's that been? All right, how's it been for you, champ? How's it been? So we're starting to see that clean break now. And if we didn't have news coming out right now, I probably would get involved, but we do. So I'm going to sit on the sidelines and watch a little bit here. Okay. Okay. Amber, yes. Clear trade plan on Google Docs. Yes, mine's on Google Docs as well. All right, and I haven't changed it. I need to update some things on it, but it's still pretty, it's relatively the same as what it's been for a few years now. Dimitri, they said you need a plan for also breaking your plan. Yes. Um, yeah, yeah, yes, definitely. Like, of course, you're not. The reality is, regardless of how disciplined you are, you're going to have a day or you're going to have a period in time where you don't follow your plan like perfectly, right? I think for me, I have my plan, ideal entry, and then I have a conservative, which would be my ideal entry would be more of my conservative side, and then my aggressive entry would be more of just me, maybe having confidence in the setup and choosing to be more aggressive on it. So that would be as far as it goes when it comes to breaking your game plan and breaking your trade plan. Um, but yeah, I would say you got to follow it for quite some time because it's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope because it's like there are certain things that I will stick to and I will not be aggressive about it, and there are certain things that I will follow like to the book. Like I won't trade. I haven't traded other markets in a long time because my plan has it gives me a lot. It gives me enough, right? So we got news coming out. Unemployment claims coming out in 15 seconds, guys. So let's see here. Let's see what happens. So if it has any sort of impact, we're gonna see something. If it's not, boom. So right now we're seeing a lot of that bearish decline here, right? So the key here is to let it fade. If what I like to see, if I want to be a buyer, for sellers to dominate. So if sellers are dominating now, and then we get buyers to come back and break above this high, that's going to give us a little bit of a better inclination. Now, today is one of those days where it's because we're in a range, market structure is not what it normally is. So if we see, for me, if buyers are able to kind of show that they can break and close above this high, I might go in on a buy trade, right? So right now, the news came out, and the first thing that we've seen is sellers dominating. Sellers have made your push to the downside. So we're going to give it a little bit more time just to let things settle, just to see, what we want to do here. So right there, that's going to be it. And right now we're getting very close to the period in time where execution is going to be is going to be important. But what I'm glad is that we haven't executed a trade. We haven't executed a trade yet, right? So right now we're seeing some stuff happen here. Okay. What do you recommend for the business plan side? Um, so, business plan, what, Amber, what do you mean, the business plan? Because I call my trade plan the business plan. So, are we talking about the, in terms of the business plan, the trade plan, or because trading is a business, right? And that's important. So, What specifically would you like me to reference? Silver grid. My trading definitely been better and consistent since then. Losses are fewer, right? Or few, and I know how to cut them fast. And if SL is hit, it doesn't hurt my account like before. Perfect. That's exactly what you want. That's exactly why you have, a trade plan. So that's perfect, champ. That's perfect. Let's see here. Okay. I mean, more of growing and scaling. Do you include taxes, details, and things? No. Taxes between you and your accountant. But scaling your account has to do more with money management. So you're going to have your trade plan in terms of the rules. Scaling your account has to do with it wouldn't be have to do with risk management. It's going to have to do with money management, right? Your overall equity, your lot size, um, when are you going to increase your risk, um, how are you going to do it from like a compounded standpoint. So for me, you guys see me, most of my trades I would take with 15 lots, 15 lots, right? So that's how I keep it. Last year I was doing 10 lots. The year before that, maybe like 6 to 10, because I was getting comfortable with it. And then as you get more comfortable, I like to keep certain things, stable for a while. And now, of course, if you follow the money management guideline, which is if you are a part of the community, you have access to that. Um, you can go over that risk. I call it the fixed ratio money management approach. If you understand that, you can use that on the business side and use it for compounding. But taxes, yeah, it's between you and your accountant and the state that you live in or the country that you live in. How it works, just talk to a good accountant, and they'll help you, set that up. Um, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. So right now, let's take a look. So we got the unemployment claims. With tomorrow being a holiday, I would like to see today be a pretty decent push. Right, tomorrow's a bank holiday for the U.S. Right, Thanksgiving. Um, Now unemployment claims came out positive for the dollar, so we're seeing a little bit of that dollar strength um, now. But the market is still stalling. Price still hasn't picked a clean direction. So for me, if we are able to see this push back up here, because now sellers have every reason to push lower. There's nothing in the way. There's nothing stopping them. But what you need is, as you start to observe, you're watching, right? And if the market is not on some nonsense, it's going to act accordingly. But right here, sellers are dominating, right? So sellers are pushing, and we kind of held off on being, on buying today. We haven't taken, any trades, but yeah. So sellers are dominating right now. They're doing their thing. You're doing your thing. So on the 5 minute time frame, we're on this 15-minute accumulation zone as well. We're also in this accumulation range. So anything can happen while we're here. The best case scenario is to not play a guessing game, to let price really pick a side. The market hasn't exactly picked a side yet. And picking a side would be, if the market breaks below this low, there's likely a good chance that the New York session is going to be bearish for today, if we break below this level, because I don't see the price action that is going to support buyers. Um, if buyers do come in, it's going to be far on the later side. So it's 8:37 right now. We're getting close to the 9 a.m. Open. So personally, for me, yeah, if we don't get that push up and sellers end up, creating that opportunity, because this level is, there's a lot here, there's a lot of accumulation at this level. I wouldn't feel comfortable getting in a sell because I don't know how, it's not a, price will always move towards the area of least resistance. And this area is not an area of least resistance. There is a lot of accumulation here on the 15-minute time frame. So what I see happening is maybe a push down and a wick, right? So if sellers don't give up that momentum and buyers dominate, I'm just going to walk away for today with no trade. But right now, there's really no opportunity. I wouldn't pick a side yet because nothing is real. The market is taking out the highs and it's taking out the lows, and unfortunately, in that type of market condition, it's not the smoothest, right? It's not the smoothest. So yeah, so we can kind of see that trajectory happening right here, and even here, if a smart thing to do now, if I wanted to be maybe on the aggressive end, is to be a buyer right here and see if the market is going to come back up and take out this high. But at the same time, this is also a market structure break, and we could see that continuation to the downside. But based on how it's looking, I wouldn't be surprised if we get that push up. And yeah, we're seeing, we're seeing that right now. We're seeing that right now, guys. So it's just, so it's a little bit of a, yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting market. It's a little bit of an interesting market. Right now currently we have bearish market structure in place. But if I'm anticipating that this is going to be a liquidity grab in price, it's a gamble. I would preferably like to see price, take out this high, hold right here, and possibly continue. But we'll see. I'm gonna give it one shot, and then go from there. Do you guys recommend a specific broker for micro lots? Looking for the right one, and got to start small first. Okay, if you're looking for a broker, it depends on where you are. I'm currently with ACAP, right? So I have two brokers that I work with right now, both regulated, and yeah. So if you're looking to trade futures, then that's different, right? But if you're looking for the FX, ACAP, that also works. But if you're in the U.S., they don't accept U.S. clients, kind of like every other most brokers out there, unless they're they have their in. So it depends on where you're located, right? But they're pretty good. And especially if you're looking to your deposit, whether it's if you're depositing a large amount, you definitely need a regulated broker. But if you're working with a small account too, I would say it's still a good practice. But when I was coming up, I think we had more options because regulations wasn't as I had a lot I have now my experience. So now I usually try to stick more regulated more because I pass what we're using and be best regulated and ever personally any time. So you're only making sure that when you invest you feel comfortable, right? Because I did and so my goal is gone. Or I made money and I'm not getting the pay. Usually right now I'm in the seat. They know confidence so we're building right. If you're working really working, they have that. So right. Okay. Well, it's having it. Hey, beautiful. All right. Now, pretty good. Pretty good. Well, they made, and then I trade. So two heavily. But when I started, I would put money on regulated brokers because I wasn't making money, and I was pretty comfortable. I didn't have a lot of trade on regulated brokers because I wasn't really profitable. But then when I started to make money, and I was like, okay, all right, I started feeling a bit more of that anxiety. And then when I had my first figure trading account, I couldn't deposit that in a regular broker. I knew I wouldn't be able to sleep at night. So I went to a broker, I think it was Orlando. Start off with Orlando, and then boom, right? Just like they have a head office. I wanted somewhere a broker where it's like if there's a problem, I could go knock at the door. Hey, I need my money, or protest right outside. So that was how I was feeling. So it's up to you. It's up to you. Yeah, but okay, prop firm is one thing, but my personal funds, yeah, it hurts. You're putting a lot of money in your personal funds. So it's important to try to pick the right place. But okay, okay. So right now we are watching. So it's 8:44. So market has to pick the side, right now. So by the looks of it, sellers are dominating. And so we got a push here. That's set everything. I won't take it before we put back here. Might struggle a little bit, or might be struggling a little bit. So it's nothing right now. It's nothing right now. And we've seen maybe one of this liquidity push further down. When the market is in a range, you have to get a bit more efficiency. And I learned that lesson a little bit on. I learned that lesson last week as well. Right, last week Wednesday. Okay, profitability takes time. When I started to change my results, changed. Well said. Well said. Hey, that's beautiful. Discord link. If you want to be a part of the Discord, you can check the link down below. And yeah, yeah, links, everything is there. So yeah, feel free. Dimitri, the way price is moving, definitely want to be bearish. Yeah, I mean, yeah, if the market, but the thing is, we're still in this range, right? If the market is willing to trade out of this range entirely, then I think, yeah, you could see more sellers. You know, we could see more sellers dominate. Yeah, we could see price take out this low, and maybe aim for these levels. But I believe if markets won't trade, we're not going to be seeing bullish momentum for the day. But while the market is still here, I think it's a little early to decide, because the problem is sellers have the opportunity right now, and they're very slow, and that sometimes is a red flag. Because why are you not taking advantage of the fact that no one's stopping this movement? So if buyers come into the market, they're going to come in very aggressively. And generally, that's what I like to see when I want to pick a side. I want to see the side that is coming in hot with solid candlesticks, right? I don't want to sell when sellers are stalling, right? And it could be a good opportunity, because we could start to move further down. But I would like to see sellers actually show the strength, push all the way down, break out of this range, run a little bit, trade back into the zone, and then potentially give us that opportunity, to sell. And then I'll decide whether I want to take it or not. But as of right now, while the market is still here, it's it's going to be a questionable one because buyers can come in, boom, one candlestick, and they'll take away all the work that sellers have done because we are in a buyer's market on the higher time frame. So if you take a look right here, this is just one candle, right? 1 4-hour candle that we're seeing the effect. But overall, we are still in a buyer's market. On the 4-hour time frame, you wouldn't say the market structure has shifted, right? Definitely not on the hourly time frame either. Hourly time frame, we could see, that selling pressure come in, but this is, we'll see. Audio's back. Audio's gone again. Let's see. Okay, you guys should be. Hopefully, you guys can hear me now. Audio's back. Okay. Yeah, so right now it's a patient game. A big part of trading, that's what it's going to be. Right? Most of the time you're going to be watching and you're going to be waiting. Right? This is, if I want to be aggressive, this is not the month. This is not the month for it. So capital preservation is my plan right now. And you got to be able to come into the market. And if you don't see anything good, just walk away. I feel better about my day knowing that I didn't force it. I didn't see a good setup there. I didn't take it. And I just left it. All right, rather than coming in and trying to force it. But the way the market currently is looking right now, we have bearish momentum and sellers are definitely, dominating. So it's currently 8:50. I want to see by 9 o'clock, sellers are likely going to, even this candle right here, these few candles, we're seeing a lot of movement. So there's a good chance that we could be seeing that push to the downside. Sellers grabbing liquidity. I think they want to grab this liquidity right here and this liquidity right here. I think that is the seller's objective. But the other thing too is this is also an area where if they fail, we could see that, big, big push up. So, be patient. Be patient, and if the market doesn't give you that opportunity, we'll just call it a day. We'll just walk away. But right now, the market's really not doing anything. Right? So, that's the that's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me know if you guys have any questions. Give it a little bit of time. Today is it's a little bit of a slow one. It's a little bit of a slow one, but it's better than putting your money into putting your money into a day where prices You don't know what's going to happen. Right now, it looks like sellers are going to dominate. All right, we're going to get that push. So if sellers break out of this level, all right, this is going to be an accumulation zone that you can possibly take to the downside. All right, I just I don't like the sell opportunity here because this is a smaller accumulation range with the larger accumulation range. So for sellers to push lower, um, unless they want to aim for down here, then by all means. So yeah, this just looks. It doesn't look. The cells don't look as good. But you guys, let me know what you think. How the cells look for you, right? Are you guys gonna take the cells, right? Are you guys gonna take, are you only going to pick a side, right? What's your preference? Do you come into the market and pick a side and stick to it, or do you come into the market and sometimes you have to be able to change your bias, right? If the market gives you something else, you change, right? And you go with that. But it's important to, I find, sometimes I come into the market and it's like, okay, higher time frame bullish, and then on the lower time frame, you get caught in that, okay, sellers are dominating, so let's go be a seller. So I think today, my only interest is likely going to be on the buy side, unless the sells come and they look so good. But right now, sellers have dominated, and we're in this accumulation range, and yeah, I'm gonna be watching. I don't see anything. There's really nothing. There's really nothing popping right now. There's really nothing. Yeah. So basic strategy is accumulation and distribution right here. I wouldn't say we have any basic strategy really, but um, if you understand breakout, right? So breakout, market retest, um, those would be some of the main strategies we use. Market structure breaks, those would be some of the main strategies we use as well. All right, so hopefully that gives you a little bit of insight. Dimitri, not even gonna lie, sometimes I don't even pick a side. If I see sell, I sell. If buys look stronger, I buy. All right, okay. That's also a decent way to look at it as well. Um, but yeah, uh, sometimes everything points to one side, but one little move change your whole bias because it's so decisive. Exactly. That's exactly what I like to say. That decisive move that changes your whole bias, that changes your whole perspective, that invalidates what you came into the market and you have. Like and being open as a trader to something like that is pretty cool, right? Because you're no longer coming into the market with a bias that can be changed, but more so with a bias that yeah, that flows with current price action, with the story that the market is telling. So right now, there's a lot of that bearish, there's a lot of sell that I'm seeing, right? So this right here, sell, market structure, saying sell. So right here is an area of liquidity, but the market hasn't done anything decisive. And that's the problem today. We've been moving, but we haven't done anything decisive. And decisive comes with liquidity. And that's what you want to see. Any major move, right? When the market is willing to actually make that run, it came in. Huge push. This was the 6 a.m. today. It was decisive. Boom, boom, boom. Like, that was it, right? You can see when the market is coming in at the kill zone. This was the London. It was huge candlestick. It was quite decisive, right? It was quite decisive. So not every month is going to be like this in terms of price action where it's slow, but November has certainly been on the slower side of things, and you have to be a little bit more patient in a month like this because you're getting those decisive movements at 9:30, maybe 10, right? Sometimes 10:20, right? So it's happening like that. But yeah, that's a great response, champ. Um, as of right now, I think it may bounce off the bottom of the zone, go up, then fall back down through the zone. It could. We're also grabbing liquidity, right? So we could also grab this liquidity right here and continue to go up. Because to me, it's like I don't see, I don't understand where sellers would go long term, unless sellers want to tap more into this range. But it would be very short term because this is an accumulation range and we haven't actually respected this move entirely, right? So we haven't had a distribution, that has been pretty decent so far. So there's still a good chance that we could see buyers come in and push and make that main distribution. But the sells, this is not a low resistance zone, right? We're going to be trading into a zone where any target that you have is unpredictable, right? Whereas if the market is able to break above, we have clean areas of liquidity that price could reach for. We have this area right here, right? Beautiful. And of course, we have this high right there that we've already traded. So it's very clean. That's a high probability direction where if you get that opportunity, it would be far nicer. But right now, we need that decisive movement. We're getting close to. So right here, we're kind of holding off. We're holding off here. So this is looking. It's not looking bad in terms of overall direction. It's not looking bad in terms of overall direction, but still, there's nothing decisive yet. So I'm happy we didn't go in on the sell because still the market right now, and he can still come back down and grab this low. Right. So I think for me, it's just a matter of watching and waiting and see if the market is actually going to hold or what we're going to do yet. So yeah, today's a little bit of a patient one, guys. Yeah, today's a little bit of a patient one. But yeah, days like this are boring. But if you still keep capital on your side, you still come in with the capital that you come in with your capital and you leave with your capital, it's still a positive day, right? You don't always have to leave the day, with some profit. It's either you make money, that's a good day, or you didn't lose any money. So we're seeing a bit of that momentum now come in, and this is pretty decent. So for me, I think it might be worth getting in on a buy right here. Let's see. I just don't want to get caught. Okay, so 1 minute. Actually, Jesus Christ, guys. What was I looking at? Let's open the chart. I need to get rid of that. That is gold euro. So this is the 1 minute time frame. Okay. So I'm going to go in on the buy. And let's see what happens. Okay. I want to see if we can get. Still very. I want to wait just a little bit here. Okay. So let's see. So in on the buy trade right now. And let's see what the market is going to do. I'm in with 15. And if we can get that continuation to the upside, fantastic. If not, we're going to get taken out from here. But waited patiently to see if the market is going to hit this range. And right now, the market is, doing its little pullback here. And if I get taken out from here, fine. If the market actually runs and makes a move up, that's going to be fantastic. So I just want to put myself in a position. So we're in a buy, And regardless of what happens, this is the first execution. Let's see here. I want to place. So we've been pretty much on the patient side here. Let's see what price is willing to do here. So I'm going to place my stop loss just right here. So give the market a little bit of room to breathe. If price trades back down there, then the likelihood that it's going to push lower is high. But if we want to continue moving up, I think this is a good zone. So right now, we're currently down about $400 on this particular trade here, and now, yeah, let's see. Let's see what the market decides to do. In terms of targets, this is going to be an area of interest. This is going to be an area of interest as well. So we're bouncing off, and we can likely see the market reach up here and grab maybe the liquidity even right up here. We could see price trade up to 41.62, but today was a patient day, right? So now it's just, we have our stop loss set right here. If buyers don't dominate, then it means that sellers are going to continue that push. So right now we're up around $1,500 on this. We're up around 15. Let's hope. Okay, as of right now, I think we may bounce. Let's hope that you were wrong. That you're wrong. Let's see. Okay. Yes, George. Hopefully, we just continue. And to be honest, guys, we don't need much, right? So think about this right here. All we need realistically is to see if the market is willing to give 30 plus. If the market is willing to give 30 plus pip, that would be great. If it's not, that would be kind of like the bare minimum. So yeah, so I'm not looking for a ton here. I'm just looking for something, just something half decent. But right now, this is it. If buyers are going to dominate, this is the best case scenario. If they're not, then then I think we're going to see sellers come in. So right now it looks like, we're getting a little bit of that pullback down into this range, and possibly, sellers are either going to grab this liquidity, continue to move lower, and maybe aim for this level. So if I get taken out from here, this is going to be the first execution here, and then see my call today, or just let it be. But yeah, we're seeing that selling momentum come in now. So it looks like might get taken out there. That's all right. Got taken out. So sellers are coming in. Buyers today, not happening. So this was kind of like the first opportunity for buyers to actually push up. And George, that was it. So got taken out on here. On this, I think today we're not going to be seeing buyers. But sometimes it's important to give it a shot if it looks good, because if buyers can come in, this would be that opportunity. So right now, I don't think that we're going to be seeing buyers come into the market. I think there's a good chance that we're likely going to be seeing more sellers come in. So unfortunately, we've been tapped out here, and taking my first execution for today. Boom, didn't play out, and I'm not going to push it too much. I didn't have that much of an expectation today, simply because the market was in a range, and wanted to see if this is actually going to hold and if it's actually going to push up. But the market right now is in a range. Is in a range. So here, I think we're going to be seeing that break of structure, and price is going to be grabbing that liquidity. And if you want to be a seller today, this could be, this would be the best case, scenario. All right, we're going to see that selling, sellers push up. Um, okay. Yeah, we're going to be seeing. So we're seeing the market now break. So that was the last opportunity for buys today, right? And for me, that was more of like, okay, if buys are going to dominate, this is the best case scenario. They've pulled back, retest, failed, and then sellers use this as their opportunity to dominate. So now I think that we are in a seller's market. And if you're going to lose a trade, that's how you want to lose, right? You want to lose a trade where your direction was absolutely like in this, like it was blown out the way, right? So now sellers have made their move and they've made their mark, and they're likely going to dominate. But my thing is still the same. This is an accumulation zone, but we have a larger accumulation zone here. So I don't trust that sellers have the best intentions. Um, if Yeah, I don't know if I would be quick to go in on the sell, because this zone could still hold price, and buys could still come in pretty aggressively, considering that the market is taking out the highs and taking out the lows. So got taken out here, and that's the first execution. Let's see if there is going to be one more. I'm not going to push it like I did last Wednesday, but yeah. So I came in with knowing that today's market is going to likely be on the shitter side. It's going to be on the more questionable side. But yesterday was decent. Yesterday was, I wouldn't even say decent, but we made the best out of it. One shot, one kill. Today now, it's you got to grind for it. You got to watch. We waited patiently, took a setup. Now we're gonna see if we can get. If there's another one, if there's not, boom. But I'm not gonna go for this sell. I'm not gonna go for this sell. I'm gonna let it be. On the 5-minute time frame, we can kind of see, what's currently taking place right now, and it looks like more sellers are coming in, but this is also a pretty large wick. On the 1-minute time frame, this is a retest. So you can go in on the retest. It'll be pretty nice, but I don't trust this level. And I think that with the way the market is moving, with price taking out the highs and taking out the lows, I still wouldn't be surprised if we get that reversal, or if this is just a liquidity grab and more of a push happens. So we'll give it a little bit of time and watch and wait. It's currently 9:10. Give it 20 more minutes, and then if there's really nothing by then, I'll just call it a day and walk away. But let me know what you guys see. Let me know what you guys think on your end, and yeah. But once the market picks a direction, that's going to be it. But even right now, even with the sell, it's still stalling. It's still stalling. So we could see more sellers come in, but if buyers are able to build in that momentum and they're able to break above this high, that could be a pretty solid opportunity. But as of right now, on the 1-minute time frame, there is no. I feel price set up for a premium buy. I feel the same way too, but the problem is the market is taking out the highs and taking out the lows. So even though this could be a really great sell opportunity, you don't want to get caught. It's not trustworthy. It's just not trustworthy. This market price, same thing here. Price took out this high, then continue, came back down, took out this low. So this is a pattern that we've seen all day today. So today kind of comes in as that kind of day where you don't know what direction. And I think in a market condition like this, the best thing that you can do is stick with higher time frame, right? Because right now the lower time frame is bearish, but the higher time frame market structure is bullish, right? And That's the biggest thing. So right here on the 1 hour time frame, we have a bit of that bullish movement, right? And we've taken out this low, but still, this could be grab liquidity, push back up, right? And no, I wouldn't be surprised personally. So I think I'm going to stick to one side, and if that one side, because right now sellers should dominate. Sellers should absolutely continue to move lower, but if buyers are able to come in, we're gonna see that either that push up or that break, and that's gonna be the biggest thing. So, um, yeah, sells right now, they look good, but in this market, would I take sells? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't trust it. I wouldn't trust it because higher time frame is still bullish. So it's just you can do it, you can take it, but it's just not a trustworthy market right now. It's so these are news was bearish, I believe. Yeah, so the news came out bearish for the dollar. I'm sorry, bullish for the dollar. So we've seen some bullish momentum, right? But we didn't have any news come out at 9, right? Nothing major. We had news come out at 8:30, and that gave the dollar some strength. But that could be, of course, why we're seeing a bit of that bullish, bearish momentum. But as of right now, this is a massive rejection on the 15-minute time frame. Is that worth selling on? Every time we see a massive rejection like this, we see a turnaround, right? Every time you see a massive rejection, usually follows by a major turnaround, massive rejection, major turnaround, massive rejection, turnaround, right? So sometimes you get this situation where it's like, okay, price struggles a little bit, but usually turns around. So it kind of creates a little bit of a questionable scenario. Same thing here, massive rejection, huge push to the upside. So we got one more minute. This candle is going to close in 1 minute. So it's already closed as a massive rejection. So I wouldn't trust that for a sell unless we can get another 15-minute candle that absolutely closes, just below this level. So we're going to place this right here. All right. So this is the seller objective. If they can take that, boom. All right. If they can take that, that would be cool. That would be cool, and that would maybe give more sellers an opportunity. But as of right now, we're still stuck in this accumulation range. We're just kind of playing that seek and destroy game. So keep your capital, nice, and news was bearish. News was okay. Let's see. I feel price is setting up. Okay, I'm bearish too. We'll see. Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what today brings. We'll see what today brings. If the market is going to give another opportunity, I'm going to like to take that. I like to make something today. Close. I'm not going to be trading tomorrow. So, but if the market isn't going to give me anything, for my time, that's okay. I just want, once November is over, we get, a little bit of a better sale. But it's a lot of patient plays. So let's see. It's 9:16 right now. We're still. Let's see. I wouldn't say it's early. We've been here since 7:40, 7:30. So you can see right now, we didn't exactly break out of the zone. So we're still technically in this zone. The market is just choppy as hell. So grab this, but this is a pretty solid rejection here that could take price to the upside. And it would be nice for the market to actually genuinely pick a side where it wants to go. And yes, we can get in and say, okay, we're going to buy, but that wouldn't be good because we still have bearish market structure. So I think that there's still a good chance that we could still see sellers come in to the market because we don't have, yeah, we're still in that selling zone until buyers take out this high. We're still there. Yeah, it's low. Okay, not too sure if I can. Let's see if I can do that. Let's see. Yeah, volume's pretty good. Yeah, so today's a patient one. All right, but let's see. Let's see. One shot in the chamber for me, and I'm gonna call it a day. I'm gonna call it a day today. I like when we're getting good markets, when the market is not like this, but you have to take the good with the bad, right? You're gonna have trending markets, you're gonna have choppier markets. You still have to be able to keep your composure, take your losses, take your wins, and continue to push, through all of it. Right? Your equity is going to go like that. Like it's gonna be a little bit of a dip, up, dip, you know, and just stay in the game. All right, if you can stay in the game long enough, you'll get it. But today, right now, while the market is taking out this low, it's a bit of a more difficult one to say, okay, buyers are going to come into the market. But I genuinely believe either as we start to approach 10 a.m., right, 9:30 maybe, right, we're going to start to see that push. But things are not happening as quickly as you'd like them to happen. And that's kind of part of the problem right now. So over here, we have a little bit of that push. So price is making high highs and high lows. If we want to be on the aggressive side, we can see if more buyers are going to come in and place our stop loss right here. But it's better if the market tries or makes an attempt to take out this low and then we get that push. Because I think any push that we get up here could be short-lived without price actually grabbing these areas of liquidity. So these are some pretty easy areas of liquidity that sellers could target. If they target it and they fail and the market aims to push up, then that could be something that we take advantage on. So I'm going to give the market a little bit more time, maybe 1 more minute. 10 more minutes. And if there's no setup, definitely just kind of call it a day and and let it be for now. That's it. Let me know if you have any questions, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. 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 Yeah, so I think right now we're seeing a bit of that selling momentum come in. So there's likely going to be another extension of this. right? And this could be the move that continues because right now this is an accumulation zone in reverse. Yeah, this is an accumulation zone in reverse that could take price a bit to the downside more. All right, and so far that's kind of what it's looking like. This is an accumulation zone, failed. It just, yeah. But the problem is with this current market, we could see, we anything can go, anything can go right now. So I'll still be patient, but right now what we are setting up is I would anticipate a bit more sellers coming in, and if they can come in and maybe buyers come back in, it could be. But right now I think we are still very much in sellers territory. So this is a setup for some sells right here. How much capital are you trading with today? So right now my account's about not a quarter mil, but 200K. All right. So we're close to it after my last trade. Yeah. So right now we are seeing a bit of that bearish momentum. Yeah, on good days, we're normally out of here by now. Most days were, yesterday I think our session was done by 8:30. We came in, boom, executed, nice buy. That's it. Today we're it's almost 9:30 and we're still here. All right. So ideally, I like my sessions to be done an hour, but some days you're gonna come in and you got to be able to stay calm for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, manage yourself, get comfortable, all right, and just focus on waiting for the perfect setup. And if you can get it, great. If you can't, boom, that's okay. Today, right now, we have a bit of that selling momentum coming in, and we're aiming for these areas of liquidity that I identified. So based off of this, we should see more sellers come in. But if buyers are going to come in, what you're going to see, guys, is we're going to see that push up, and this is where I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to look for that buy to see if we can get that push, because the market has grabbed liquidity here, grabbed the liquidity at this low again, and if buyers can do something with that move, right, that would be it. If they can't, then they can't, but as of right now, if we can get buyers to push up into this range, I'm going to look for a buy opportunity. I'm going to look for a buy opportunity and see if we can target this level. But as of right now, we're still heavily in seller's territory, guys. So if sellers keep dominating, I'm going to sit on the sidelines. I'm not going to do anything. But if buyers are able to come in, yeah, on the 5-minute time frame, this is it doesn't look bad. Let's take a look on the 15-minute time frame. It looks like, it looks slightly different because this candle didn't close below. So 30-minute, we're still poking. In 1-minute time frame, we're going to see. So I think in the next 3 minutes or so, price is either going to decide whether it's going to stay below this range or trade back into this range. All right, so because The 30-minute candle is going to close. I think if the 30-minute candlestick closes below this level, there's a good chance that we could see that continuation. But if it fails to close below this level, we could see more push to the upside. But as of right now, sellers are currently in control, and I'm just, with this market, you just watch, watch a little bit. For me, each day, if I come to the market and I have, okay, just so I understand that, what percentage return each day trade do you look for? Each day I come to the market, I am looking for 30 pep, right? So if I can get 30 pep, that's it. I'm happy with that. But if the market doesn't give me 30 pep, then maybe I take my first trade. I have 3 maximum trades that I can take in one day, and yeah, some days I'll execute all 3 of them if I have high hopes, and some days it's maybe 2. But once I get my first win, yesterday we came to the market, first win, walked away, right? Day was done, even before the day started, barely. So that's kind of how I like to do it. It's not, I don't have a return objective. $1,500, $2,000, $3,000, minimum, yeah, $1,500, right? The way that I at least manage my trade, if the market gives me 30 pep, I close half, that's going to be automatically close to, I think, $3,000 or two and a half at the minimum. So that's usually, if that's what I get, I walk away. But if the market doesn't give me that, that's usually because my first trade is a loser, and then I have to decide whether I'm going to stay in the market or try to shoot, watch a little bit. So that's usually how we do it. But no percentage goals, nothing in particular in that regards. So right now, guys, what we're seeing here is we're seeing sellers, they're holding nicely on the 15-minute time frame here. I think right now we are now moving heavily in that selling side. I think sellers can likely continue that push, right? We can see, the 30-minute, we close well below this accumulation zone. So that kind of puts a lot of things in perspective, where if the market isn't playing seek and destroy, it can certainly continue moving up. These are 2 massive candlesticks to the downside. But it's just, the thing is with this market condition, I don't trust going against the higher time frame. That's the thing. So I'm gonna keep shooting my shot, with the higher time frame, because it's just, I don't trust going against it, because when in doubt, stick to the higher time frame. And the higher time frame right now, it's bullish. It's bullish. So everything to the downside has always been, yeah, sellers could continue to dominate, but maybe today's not the day where we're going to see buyers come into the market. But it makes selling a low probability situation. So now we're seeing a little bit of that nice rejection here, when sellers had all the advantage to continue moving lower. So for me personally, if we're able to either push up into this range cleanly, nicely, I'm gonna go in on a buy. All right, so let's see here. There we go. Let's see. Okay. So right there, we're seeing sellers are now failing here. So for me, I want to see, okay, I'm gonna go in on a buy, guys. Okay, so I'm in on my buy. So in on the buy trade now. This is my that's my entry right there. If sellers don't push, and sorry, if buyers don't actually dominate from here, then today is not the day. We waited patiently for everything. Um, this was the execution that we wanted. Sellers to dominate, take out this liquidity, boom. And now it's just like, okay, continue to move, continue to run, target this high, but target the next high. If the market is now willing to move in that direction, because sellers had all the opportunities to make their move to the downside, and they've kind of pretty much failed right now. So I'm just gonna set everything up right here. We're currently up. Let's see. This is the heat of the moment. This is where your heart rate is quite high, and you want to try to be as calm as possible. Okay, so for me, I want to place stop loss right here, but I want to give it like I want to see if the market continues to move back down, then it's like, okay, we take a little bit of yeah, but ideally I would love for price to just run, but if the market doesn't want to run, it wants to pull back, then unfortunately, guys, yeah, then today is not the day. Today is not my day. Today is not my day. Today is not my day. But right now, break a structure. Let's see what happens. So it's going back over here. We see we're up around $1,300. If the market continues to run, this could be a next area of liquidity that we could reach for. But that's if the market is done playing games. And with this momentum that we have right now, I would hope so. So right now we're up, around $3,000. We just need that decisive movement. So didn't want to be a seller today just because I didn't trust that. And I want to see if buyers are going to, sticking with the higher time frame is usually the best thing to do when you're uncertain. So how much do you need to be up personally before you take something off the table? To be honest, with this trade and with today, probably I would say, 30 pep, I'll look to take something off the table and maybe move my stop loss to break even. So if the market moves up a little bit, it wouldn't, yeah. So 30 pep still, right? So if the market can run a little bit, that would be great. But because the market is quite uncertain right now, and you don't know, the market pulls back a lot. In this type of market condition, it's not a straight direction. It's a lot of like back and forth. You get a solid run, you get more pullback, right? So if we can get a little bit of a run up into this range, just a tad little bit, I'll probably honestly take something, off the table. So right now, okay, so this right here is about $4,000. So you know what? I'm gonna look to take maybe, 5 off and trail my stop loss to this low. This is, it would, yeah, it would, or maybe move it to break even here, right? But right now, I want the market to move a little bit more, just maybe one more candle, right? So right there, you know what? I'll close 7 and leave 8. So if the market actually runs, beautiful. Okay, so we've taken something off the table now. If the price comes back and stops us out, then that's absolutely fine. So I'm going to move my stop loss over to 50, 54. So you can kind of see that right there. So we've taken something off the table. So I took about $2,000 from this trade so far. I went in with 15 lots, closed 7, and now we have this running. So if I get taken out, yes, that's fine, but it's just to protect, because the market right now is not as straightforward. So I'm likely going to get taken out at break even with just making a little bit on this particular trade. But yeah. So it's a day where you got to protect your bottom line, protect your capital, and manage your trade accordingly. And that's pretty much it. So I if I get taken out, there we go. Okay, so boom. So got taken out at break even, but paid myself in the meantime. It's a bold move because the market can continue to run. But in a situation where the market doesn't continue to run, I don't want to be in a situation where price doesn't, I don't take anything off the table. So I think posted that. That's a nice buy. Silver grid, beautiful, right? Beautiful play. So right there. So that's it. So gold buys we got on this here. We got about 30 pip. Now there's a good chance that we can continue to see the market move up, right? We can see price continue to run, and yeah, if it continues to run, fine, whatever. But I still took something from here. But when the market is not trustworthy like this, it's really hard to trust anything. But so far, like I said, guys, when in doubt, stick with the higher time frame. Because if we decided to switch our bias over and switched it over to sellers right here, we would have gotten screwed over, right? We would have made no money. We would have taken more losses. So yeah, there's a good chance maybe sellers want to come back in, but sure. But right now we have strong bullish momentum. My only concern is timing. The market pulls back a lot, and until the market picks a side, everything is kind of questionable right now. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is this is pretty much it. This is pretty much it. We came in today. We've executed 2 trades. I think that we could see more opportunity. I'm going to save one more for the chamber, and in case at 10 o'clock the market decides to start moving and doing something good. But I think right now, we took something small from here, and that's pretty much how I can walk away for today, and see if tomorrow being a bank holiday, there could still be some movement, but it's Thanksgiving, so it's a pretty decent bank holiday. So you might not get a lot of action in the market. I would recommend not trading tomorrow. But hey, to each your own. Friday could be a decent day to come back in, but it's also Friday as well. But with December coming up, normally things slow up in December, but that's not always the truth. It's a myth that the market slows down in December. The market could move up until Christmas Day, right? So I've seen December's where it's just going. Money rules the world. So even on Christmas holiday, transactions, people still care about making money. So it might slow down leading up to Christmas. Yeah, the last couple of years, December's have been very aggressive. I'm like, is this December? Influencers, YouTubers are putting. Yeah, I usually take December off. December could be if November, I'm expecting better markets in December than what we've seen in November, right? I'm expecting trendier markets. I'm expecting, because that's just the way liquidity distributes. Every month, liquidity will distribute, a little bit differently. We're gonna have 1 month, prices moving well. If the market doesn't move that well during that time, the next month, you can expect more trendier markets. And November has been a very, very choppy market. So if you survive that, have better expectation for your trading in December coming up. I think we're still going to be doing our live sessions as usual. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's just important to it's important to keep that in mind. So this is it. We're out of this trade already, right? We secured something, and then got taken out at break even. So I'm going to close this here. But yeah, unfortunately, with this type of market condition, you have to try to take a little bit And if you get more, you get more. But for me, I'm going to be a little bit more on the conservative side today, and come back in and push, next week more. So there won't be any live sessions tomorrow, given it's a holiday. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave it on the chat. But we're going to be back on Friday for a weekly webinar. So if you have any questions, if you have anything that you'd like, it's usually like the weekly webinar is really good. If you have, it's the closest thing to one-on-one mentorship, because for 30 minutes to 40 minutes, you have the opportunity to speak, not just to type, to also express yourself, how you're feeling, what you're trading, how your trading has been, and get, direct feedback. So we kind of open it that way, where, it kind of gives people that direct access. And of course, you're talking to me. So if you're new, I would highly recommend that, because it's a way we can kind of help you, figure out any pain points that you might have. But ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is it today. Yeah, do you guys have any questions? Any questions, guys? Any questions? Any questions? Let's see. Let's take a look. 15-minute. Yeah, I think, the hourly time frame, this is still, grab liquidity right here. Still grab liquidity. So, yeah, I'm looking for that run that we're going to, whether it's December or whether it's January, where every single day we come to the market, it's just a winner. It's just money. Those are the days that's exciting. Those are the days you build your confidence. But days like this, where you come in and you got to fight a little bit more, you got to struggle a little bit more, is also part of the journey. But you've got to continue to execute the same and do the same thing over and over again. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is it for us today. We've had a very, very long session. So, thank you guys for being on the call. We'll be back here again next week for more live sessions on the YouTube side. I think we'll be doing our live sessions on Tuesdays as well. Wednesdays are still good, but I think Tuesdays just kind of getting it over and making sure everything's good. So YouTube will change that to Tuesdays, and then Wednesdays we'll still be doing in the community, and Thursdays will be in the community as well. So if you want 3 live sessions, definitely look to be a part of the community, and you can do that. On the community side, guys, God bless. Thank you for today. If you're trading, focus on managing your risk. Focus on, just not pushing it in this type of market, because it's anything can happen. Anything can happen, and it's quite choppy. So if you make money today, walk away. Don't give it all back, because this market condition is one that will take your money, right? So if you made some capital, enjoy.